I guess
this is what I used to do with Jeff all the time, right? You used to get upset with me.
It was so much more fun listening to you, Jeff.
What do you got, Steve? Talk to us.
Well, we'll just keep it local. Shaquille O'Neil being Shaquille O'Neil being part owner of the Kings in the minority. Yeah.
Hey, Shaq, so what do you feel about the interview?
So I'm really happy to be here.
That's good. How do you feel about buying in?
Can you take it?
Hey, Kobe, how's my ass taste? Give me one.
Tell me how my ass tastes. Good news or bad news for the Kings?
Oh, good. Because they released in the same interview where Shaq was introduced as a partial owner, partial minority owner.
Because he's black.
Right. So I had to throw that in there. Picking it up. They released some information about the new arena, the indoor-outdoor arena. So they're going to be able to open up windows or big panes of glass so that you can attend or pseudo-attend concerts and things. So they can add, I think ultimately it's 28,000 more people to concerts and events so you can see them on these big screens and almost be there yet still hear what's going on. And it's very, very cool to read about.
That's awesome.
So it's 28,000 spots for a standing room?
Right. So it'd be 28,000 people in the standing room, not inside the arena. So that it's an indoor-outdoor plaza where the arena is going to be in. So it sounds like it's just going to be fucking incredible.
Cool. You know, along with that too, I think he's going to be sort of mentoring DeMarcus Cousins. Do you think that's going to? Do you think that's?
Going somewhere? Start off getting excited.
No, it's actually like legit sports talk.
Yeah. We'll bring it back down.
Do you think that it's going to make any difference, or do you think he's still be the delinquent that he has been up until now that they're giving him the
What's Shaq going to do?
He's asking me, Rob.
It's a contract year.
Okay, hold on. I'm DeMarcus Cousins, you're Shaq. Mentor me.
Right now you got first make some moves like Shazam. Like I'm just wondering what he's gonna do like for this. And there's been other historical things like when Patrick Ewing, I think he went to Houston and he started mentoring some of the
Dwight Howard.
Yeah, exactly.
He was
Dwight Howard, yeah,
and then Dwight Howard.
So there's other examples of big men sort of helping out, other.
Right, but my thing is, what's Shaq going to give him?
Shaq was saying that he wants to help not so much the physical tools, but the mental tools, because he's a like I say, he's a delinquent. He's mentally weak. So, do you think that could help, or do you see the kind of the writings on the wall?
I don't see Shaq as mentally strong.
Really?
Yeah, because I mean no, it's a lie. Okay, so Shaq's awesome, but he'll probably So there's potential there, but I don't think that DeMarcus Cousins is coachable. I think that's his downfall. He's not coachable enough. He's too hard-headed. You're a fucking piece of shit, Cousins. Yeah.
Oh goodness.
No, he wants
now he's not going to get on the show.
He's the face of the King.
He's a friend of the show, man.
He never came to New York. I never met him.
I met him at 24 Hour. It's cool.
Did you talk to him?
Yeah, I said, "Hey, DeMarcus, how's it going?" He's like, "Oh, all right."
You didn't say that.
Rob did this, put his head down. He's really big.
Yeah.
Hey, did you see how big he was?
He was actually a bit of a whiny baby, even on the 24 Hour.
Like amateurs.
Right? Yeah, it was like
He was playing.
Yeah, but he would walk the entire time.
Oh my gosh.
Bobby Jackson didn't do that. I played with Bobby Jackson out in full
played?
Yeah. Because it was Bobby Jackson and Barry were out there playing back when
John Barry.
John Barry.
Oh, okay, I thought you were.
No, I worked for 24 at the time, and I just randomly went, and they were fucking playing. I was like, this is amazing. They're hauling ass down the court,
yeah, that's right.
laying the ball up, stealing, blocking folks.
Yeah.
But
DeMarcus was not like that at all.
no, and they were just out there to have fun as opposed to like play hard.
Yeah.
So
Sounds
I'm
like
sure
a good
DeMarcus was like, I ain't gonna lose.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really see this
Because
making
that's what
any sort of
DeMarcus sounds
difference. I don't see this making any sort of difference for him. I still think he's going to be out in a couple of years.
Oh, it definitely gives the Kings some celebrity cachet. I think that's about really all it does.
Yeah.
Well, because they're trying to. The owner is trying to make the Kings a world brand.
Mm-hmm.
So the opening game is going to be televised in India, and there's millions of people in India. So he's
a little more than millions.
Yeah, billions.
Billions.
Has there ever been an
We're at
Indian
billions.
NBA player?
well, you put millions together and you eventually get billions.
Hundreds of millions.
How many of them actually have a TV, though?
Thousands of millions.
Thousands of millions.
They all-
Tens of thousands. Millions of millions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. Indian basketball player?
Yeah, has there ever been an
I don't know.
Indian basketball player?
Gandhi was pretty good with a layup. He could dunk, I think. He had the power of
Sharif Abdul Rahim.
I already flopped a lot.
Not Indian.
He's not Indian.
That was so good, and no one
Thank you. As long as you heard it,
That
I'm
was
happy with that.
flopped a lot.
Audience of 2 over there.
Jesus Christ, that's hilarious. Sorry, we should do that.
So, do you have any current events for us?
It's so good. You gotta just take a second to think about that.
Got Gandhi playing D.
He just falls down whenever he comes near
Stop
him.
being such a bitch, Gandhi. Play some D.
Yeah.
You're not making me like that. Don't make a guy.
They will change if we do not fight back. We will win this game.
Stop throwing your elbows into my chest.
All the.
You want to say Gandhi was one of the worst people ever.
Yeah, Gandhi's one of the worst human beings ever.
Shock jock.
Yeah, that's some bullshit.
Mother Teresa was a bitch.
Yeah.
He was one of the best power forwards that ever.
From India.
Change the game.
They had to make up rules for him.
Started at 5'2", 102 pounds.
He's been on a hunger strike for the past 6 months, but he's ready to rock.
That's how he negotiates his contract. He goes on hunger strikes.
I will not fight back, but I also will not eat. And I will flop. Man, we should just do a whole podcast dedicated to Gandhi.
Gandhi playing basketball.
Yeah,
Gandhi jokes.
Direct us.
Hi, Rob.
The only thing I was going to talk about was what's the deal with those Republicans?
Jerry Seinfeld's on here. What's going on?
What's the deal with those Republicans trying to defund Obamacare to the point where they're willing to let the government default on their debts? It seems this is like a just ridiculous, obvious losing battle that they are so desperate to not let go of. It's like, just fucking move on at this point.
So maybe I'm not clear. Like, what exactly is filibustering where they stay up and hold the floor?
It's
Right.
to prevent a vote from occurring.
But that's not what happened this time.
Yeah, Ted Cruz did it for like 21 hours.
Right.
So what was this about?
They still voted.
He was just being a douchebag, is
Well, that's
all
what
he was.
filibustering is.
Well, this wasn't a filibuster.
Because the vote was going to happen regardless.
Regardless,
Okay.
right.
He
Delaying the
This
inevitable.
is like
Yes.
the Tea Partiers, because he's one of them, are so they're unwilling to compromise whatsoever. So they have to get their point across, and they have to be like, "Well, I didn't give in. I didn't give up on this," rather than actually like help the country out and just say,
Oh,
"We
you
need
even
to
got
sacrifice our thoughts." Or
The Congress, the Republican Majority Leader Boehner is like, this is a waste of time. This is just straight up stupid.
I mean, the Supreme Court already ruled on it.
Right.
Like it's a law. It's
Right,
in effect.
and they're willing to go and default, stop the government from running, essentially, just so they can keep Obamacare from going into effect, which I guess is supposed to go into effect in like 3 weeks.
No, it's like Tuesday.
Real
isn't it?
quick, Obamacare is what's going to cause bankruptcy because it's
no.
increasing.
Oh.
Hold on.
Here we go.
Because
We
it's
got
increasing.
conservative.
Because I'm not either way.
No,
but
I'm excited.
mathematically,
I've heard
It's-
completely conflicting arguments to that. Economists have come out even saying in certain states it'll be people have to pay more, but it actually
I'm not saying as a
certain,
state,
like
as
in
a country.
California,
I'm not even talking about states. As a country, it's going to cost us more money. And so where are we getting that money from? And so all of our debt, we're not... Okay, so the baby boomers getting older. We've been hiding our debt with Social Security money.
right. They keep taking
Now
money
that
from it.
right, and so now that the Social Security money is going to be used, the debt is going to be even more than whatever Obamacare is adding to. So that billions of dollars that we've been hiding with Social Security money is going to come out, and on top of that, you're still paying interest on all that shit that we owe to other countries.
See, the problem
we're not making enough money to pay all of our debt.
You're right.
So
but
that's
the problem
why
with talking about
I disagree
this is,
with the ObamaCare, not because it's good or
but
bad.
are you an economist? That's the problem. I don't like talking about this stuff because I feel like I'm not knowledgeable
Qualified
enough.
enough.
In economic factors to know, because I do know they're deferring some of the payments for Obamacare for a number of years, and it's going to kick in, I think a decade later or something like that. So I don't know how that affects it. I don't know these. So it's hard for me to just listen to pundits say things and then weigh in as this is my opinion. But I've heard multiple pundits already saying that it's actually beneficial to the American public and that they will be able to pay for it eventually. That's what I've heard. I can't speak on it. I don't have the economics background.
It's totally going to be beneficial for the people.
Right.
Long-term financially.
But how do you know that? That's what I'm asking you.
Because I've seen the graphs of our debt.
From where, though?
From people who are paid to come up with those graphs so they can argue a point.
Are you just talking about pundits that tell you this?
Well, I've seen multiple videos and then went
from
to the...
where, though?
Huh? They're on YouTube. But then I've seen. Hold on, but they've been
pundits.
So what he's saying is that
they've been from law firms, and the law firms then give their data.
But who funds these law firms? They could be a conservative-backed law firm.
Right.
Do you understand?
What I'm saying is they're getting their information straight from the budget.
Right, and so are these other.
So are the other ones who are saying it's going to be fine. It's like
a group of
it's like taking the data, it's taking the data and interpreting it in a way that makes your point.
You can skew it, and so what I'm saying is that you're speaking in definitives. You're saying that this is definitely what's going to happen. I'm saying I don't know what's going to happen. I do know that a lot of people have reported this is going to be really beneficial for people, and that's all I know. I don't know because. You're right. It's from law firms. They might be credible sources, but they could also be like the climate change scientists that are funded by the oil companies. You can't trust their data. You can't. Okay. You can skew data anyway. I've worked in the field for a long time. Data is... No, I'm just saying. I know how it's done. Like, people fudge things and not necessarily lie.
Data don't matter.
You can take a statistical analysis of something and make it look the way you want it to look. Okay. Not necessarily lying.
So just in general,
right?
So to take it back and get laughed at, the guy that was head of I don't know his actual title, but is it the treasurer for the cabinet for Bush that got laid off or fired? Came out and was like, I told him we can't do this because we need to pay our debt. We can't continue to give tax cuts because we're not going to continue to pay off our debt.
Right.
We've started
this isn't Bush tax cuts.
Correct. So
That's
this is
the thing.
But this is, but it's still about the budget long term.
But the Affordable Care Act is supposed to be funded essentially by people. As long as everybody pays into it, we're not taking any money
from. You're assuming everybody's going to pay.
It's the law.
You have to pay.
You have to pay into it.
You have a tax.
If you don't, then you pay a penalty.
You pay a penalty in taxes.
Right, and it gets a little bit higher each year.
So people that are already on welfare have to pay into it, or are they getting Medicare or Medi-Cal because we're in California?
They already get that, though.
The people that are going to have to do it are ones that have to pay into it. So it's not going to really change that much.
So
from what I understand.
Right. So the penalties come in tax when tax season comes around.
Yes, they have to pay a penalty.
Okay. So that penalty is going to then fund everybody else?
Well, not just the penalty, but the actual healthy participants who buy into the insurance, who don't use it, that will help pay for the people who actually do need it.
Right.
The difference is that this is a situation where now the health companies, the insurance companies can't deny sick people coverage.
Because you're actually
and so you need healthy people to help pay for it.
So you're assuming people are going to get healthier.
No. People will be as sick as they've always been.
But this might actually
there's going to be more sick people than there are healthy people because
this is what's going to happen.
There's going to be more people are being created always.
Not necessarily. There's some countries that have negative.
I'm talking about the United States. I'm talking about the United States. We are continuously growing all the time.
Here's the thing, though. This is a stepping stone. This is my belief is that once the insurance companies realize, oh shit, we're gonna have all these sick people, then preventative care actually is going to start being put into effect. preventative care so people don't get sick. Because right now, all they're doing is they're waiting for people to be so sick.
They go to the ER.
Right.
And then that's actually worse for the government.
Right.
Then we end up paying for it through our taxes, and the government has to pay for those people to go to the ER.
And then when the
this
insurance
is actually going to be way better.
Right, because the insurance companies are like, oh, we can't fucking afford all this. We want to still get our yachts at the end of the year. So they're going to actually start implementing preventative care or, sort of like inspiring that sort of situation.
Do you think preventative care will work?
Sure. What else can you think of except like a cure for everything?
Who's going to stop him from
That's a
eating
good
Taco Bell?
idea.
Obama!
A gallon of milk. Who's going to stop
There's
that?
always going to be people like Jeff. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't try this.
I think the fundamental thing that I have a problem with this country in particular is the idea that access to healthcare isn't a fundamental right. It should be a right. You should not be able to be denied if you're sick. That's a ridiculous argument. And I have a doctor for a wife, so it's not in my best interest to have healthcare for everybody.
We're not a third world country.
Yeah.
We should be able to walk into a doctor's office and get help.
country that has this type of healthcare. Everyone else has some form of government-assisted healthcare.
And if that means I have to pay a little bit extra, I'm totally fine with that.
It's like a charitable thing. I'm totally fine paying extra, too. I think it's ridiculous that people die in this country because they can't get health care. It's absolutely ridiculous.
And that's something we can actually fix.
Yeah.
That is actually something we can fix. If the fucking douchebag Tea Partiers stopped standing in the Senate and fucking spout green eggs and ham for 21 hours or whatever.
That's a really good story.
So, Steve, do you not think that health care is a right for people, or do you think it's a luxury? Like, I'm just curious. I'd like to know how you feel on it.
I think certain levels of healthcare.
Like, what do you mean by levels?
Well, flu shot.
Right.
You can get a flu shot for free at Rite Aid.
Is it free? I think they
No.
charge it, right?
Yeah.
No, it says
like
flu
$20.
shot's free
Oh, really?
on the sign.
okay.
Well, if you read it, it's just with Kaiser, blah, blah, blah,
Oh,
or
okay.
with insurance
Yeah,
card,
I think
blah.
they charge you.
Yeah, because then they charge your insurance. And
Okay,
you
so-
still get, because it's usually free with your insurance.
So what levels then?
Should we
I'm
start naming stuff
I'm not
off
ready.
and
I
take
don't
notes?
have, notes.
No, I'm just curious.
But-
I'm actually curious. about
Brain
it.
surgery.
Yeah, what if you had cancer?
Oh, shit.
Are you serious?
Dead serious.
Are you
All
serious?
cancers?
That's-
Every cancer.
That seems completely insane to me. I don't know. I respect
and
your
it's-
right to have that opinion, but
Yeah.
it seems batshit crazy. Like, why? That's so cruel to people, though.
The stuff you can't help.
Yeah, you can't help it. Like, if you get, like, prostate cancer or...
Yeah, you got
pancreatic
bad
cancer,
genetics.
It's not your fault.
You're healthy.
So-
You try to live a healthy lifestyle your entire
Steve
life.
Jobs lived a very healthy lifestyle. He still got cancer. Should he not have gotten treatment for it?
He's fine.
It just seems...
So,
God rest his soul.
just to bring it back, let's say somebody in their 20s,
Right.
no health care, they know they don't have health care, but they make a choice to go do something stupid and hurt themselves.
Okay.
They made that
Like
choice.
get cancer.
Now I have to pay. Right? No, I'm like they break their arm or something.
Right,
Okay,
right,
and they have to go to the
right.
ER. Now I have to pay for their health care.
No, Steve, you're not paying for that person's health care.
Right now,
Right now you are.
you're right. That's what I'm saying. Right now,
Right.
right?
Not
No,
with the
you are
affordable
in the
care.
long
But
run
should it-
because your premiums go up
Right.
because you have to pay for them.
Should I have to? Should I be required to pay for that guy?
This is a community, man. We're all in this
We're
together.
all a society. I think, yeah, you should on some level because think about it from your perspective. Or like, a lot of people have had issues with long-term illness. Like, they get some rare form of cancer that just won't go away and they constantly get treated. And the current laws where insurance companies will pay up to a limit and then they drop people. And do you think that's right? Like,
They paid their dues.
yeah, they paid their dues their whole
and
life.
then
they get dropped
the
because they have
insurance company's like,
expensive things.
that's enough.
Yeah.
So-
We spent enough
So I'm
on
gonna
you.
put it out there.
Okay.
I was playing devil advocate.
Okay.
So-
I'm supposed to say I'm going to play devil's advocate.
No. Because otherwise, you're not going to get passion like this, as opposed to.
No, it was good. You got it.
All right, so,
So I think I believe in Obamacare. I think everybody should. That's why I said in the beginning, I was like, I think it is going to help everybody.
Here, son of a
But you
bitch.
didn't pass that.
Son of a
And
bitch.
then
No, that's
Because
good.
you're like,
That was
Steve,
good.
It's the Affordable
So
Care
anyways.
Act, not Obamacare. Affordable
Whatever.
Care Act.
Actually, even Obama's come out and said that he's totally cool with that term.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
eventually in history, it'll be cool.
Right. Well, it's used as a derisive term right
So
now.
you were totally fucking with
Totally
me?
fucking with you. Did you not hear me in the beginning say,
Yeah,
I believe
did,
it's...
yeah.
I literally said,
didn't
I
hear
believe
you.
it's
He's only
going to
listening
help
for Facebook.
everybody.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
When we were
Aaron, how about you?
when we were talking about
You've
the
been
financials,
you've been
I was like,
suspiciously
I totally
quiet.
believe it can help everybody, but I
You've
think
been
it's gonna
talking
make
to him
them-
that Aaron.
You've been
Okay.
suspiciously
Yeah,
quiet
you did
throughout
say
this whole
that.
thing. What's your opinion of the Affordable Care Act, aka Obamacare?
You know, like Paul said, I'm not all that educated on it, but ultimately, my thought process is that we are all in this together, and so, yeah, you know, I used to really have a hard time with that, and really think people should, you know, take care of themselves and personal responsibility, but yeah, you know, I just think if you have that you have that attitude, sooner or later, you're going to be the one to need help.
Mm-hmm.
But isn't that a very American attitude to have as far as being selfish? And
Yeah, that's why we're discussing.
And any time we make strides towards to be better, some fuckers come around to make us look bad again.
It's the 1%. Control shit.
All right. Well, that was the first hour.
Wow, that was passionate. You had me going.
I was ready to turn my table over.
Yeah, you going too.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Well played. Well played, good sir.
On the next episode of the FnJ Podcast, the crew discusses the latest in sports, and McJeffrey regales us with his travels across America.
Run away fast as you can.